Okay, so I am on week 2 of Wegovy and I have experienced some side effects, some progress, and I have some thoughts about how to get Wegovy right now or other semaglutide options due to the shortage. So first I want to talk about my results, which are pretty exciting, but I also recognize that it's only been a week and I'm just now starting my second week, so I'm trying to be realistic about expectations. However, I have lost 4 pounds, and this is the first time in probably like 3 years that I've really seen the scale move in the decreasing direction. So I'm pretty excited about it. I'm happy with my results so far, and I just took my second shot on Saturday. So today's Monday. I am continuing to experience some side effects, which I do want to talk about as well. So as far as side effects go, I have experienced some not so glamorous ones. They're not intense, they're very mild side effects, but at the same time, they are ones that we should talk about and address, and I have some tips and tricks on them. I have experienced some mild nausea, which is just par for the course with this medication, and it's something that hits me usually like immediately after the injection, and it doesn't tend to last throughout the week, but it can kick in if I overeat or if I eat something too greasy or something like that. I do tend to get some mild nausea, so I do have a recommendation for that, and it's going to be these Upspring lozenges that have like ginger and lemon, and they're mainly marketed for women who are experiencing morning sickness during pregnancy, but obviously it's a similar symptom, so it's going to work similarly. I find that they work pretty much immediately, and I got this as a recommendation on Reddit, so I trust that this is a pretty good option. I've had a good experience with it, so I definitely recommend that. And everything I'll talk about, I'll link down below in the description, so just be aware of that. Another side effect that I've been experiencing is constipation, which is common as well and pretty bad. The first day I experienced it was probably like the week 1 when I started experiencing it, and I was not drinking enough water, and that was the main contributor to it. It was enough that I was like, okay, well that's a reality, that's intense, so let's make sure that we're drinking enough water so that this doesn't happen again. A problem that I have though is that because I have ADHD and because dopamine is so like linked with the things that I like to eat and drink, I don't like to drink water just by itself. So I know that in order to hydrate better, it's good to add electrolytes to water as well. So I have been adding these liquid IV packets to my water. I stay hydrated. I drink 2 or 3 of these in a day, and I do feel a lot better, and I'm not having that side effect as much, or it's at least not as intense. Another side effect that I didn't really know about until recently is some people experience fatigue during the first couple of weeks, and I think it's probably linked to not being hydrated enough, but I did kind of experience some of that fatigue and feeling kind of not energetic at all. But I also want to note that I started my cycle pretty early on in the week, so I think that also has something to do with it. So I normally am pretty tired during that time period, so just something to be aware of. If you're taking this medication, just make sure that you're hydrating and getting your electrolytes as well, however you want to do that. I do like liquid IV. The watermelon is my favorite, but there are many options out there. So that's pretty much all for side effects right now. I'm glad that I'm not having those side effects that are like intense nausea, and I haven't had any sort of like vomiting or anything like that, so that's good. So far I'm happy with it. I'm still on the 0.25 dose, so that's the lowest dose, and it's still month 1 obviously, so I'm sure I will experience the side effects more intensely in the future. And despite having some mild side effects, my doctor has recommended that I bump up to the 0.5 milligram dose starting next month, which is also exciting. I'm glad that I'll be able to progress. I'm hopeful that I'll be able to find it, but as we know, there has been a shortage ongoing, which is something I want to get into as well. So the latest update from Novo Nordisk is the same that we've been hearing for the past month or so, which is that the 0.5, 0.25, and 1.0 dosages, which are the lowest dosages, are currently in a shortage, which means it's more difficult for people to start the treatment right now because it's harder to find those intro doses. Some people are skipping doses, some people are just jumping up to the highest dosage, which I don't know enough about the side effects and things like that. I would say if you're thinking about doing that, you definitely need to work with your doctor to figure out what's right for you. Now, I plan on just following the regular path. If I have to stop at any point, so be it. For me, the risk is not worth the reward. And I want to also say, like, if you do choose that, it's totally up to you. So, as we know, Novo Nordisk has been talking about a shortage for a while now. The latest update from their website says that they expect to have these lower dosages back in stock by September. I'm hopeful that that will happen. I'm hopeful that Amazon Pharmacy will keep delivering, as I've had a good experience with them. But there are options out there beyond just Amazon Pharmacy. Costco, I've heard, has good stock. I've also heard that people going to like mom and pop pharmacies or going to pharmacies within hospitals have had some luck. And there are a set of subreddits that I am subscribed to that I get a lot of my information from, so I'm gonna link those down below just so everyone has that in their toolbox, just in case you need to learn a little bit more about like where to find it, what pharmacies have it, etc. As far as compounding semaglutide goes, I feel nervous about it, but I also know that there's a lot of resources out there as well within those subreddits, so if that's something of interest to you, look into it. The FDA does not recommend right now that people choose compounded pharmacies because it's not regulated in the same way. It's not the exact same medication that you would be getting from the manufacturer. However, again, decide what's right for you. I'm not going to take the risk personally, but I think it's important that everyone knows what their options are. So ultimately, I'm feeling good about week 2. I'm going into it with an open mind as far as losing weight goes. I don't expect this to be like a magic solution where I'm going to lose like a ton of weight quickly, but just losing that 4 pounds has been motivating so far. I hope that I'll see more weight come off. I do want to talk about like specifics at some point. The reason why I'm not like saying like, oh, here's my starting weight and like here's my progress photos and here's all the weight that I've lost. The reason I haven't been doing that is because I do feel that it can be triggering for some people. Like for me, there's been a time in my past where I have felt triggered by that information. So I think in the future I may do something around that, because I also realize that there are people out there that need to hear like the tangible results. So if I do share that, I will preface it with, you know, a trigger warning as well, just so people are aware. But for right now, I'm just gonna be kind of vague. Like, I've lost 4 pounds. We don't need to talk about specifics. I'm not gonna show lots of pictures of my body right now. For one, because I don't feel super great about my body right now, and I think if I'm able to get to the goal that I want, or at least close to it, I think I'd feel comfortable sharing at that point. But right now, I'm still in a pretty vulnerable place, and I don't think I want to put that much of myself out there just yet. That could change, but I will let you know. So yeah, ultimately, I'm really happy with the way that things have been going. I know it's only week 2. I will continue to update here as well as on my TikTok, so make sure that you are following me on both so you don't miss anything. I will share my journey week to week. I plan on doing every week. I might not be able to get to it every single week, but I'll make sure that I cover the weeks that have passed when I do update. And I'm more likely to do like mini updates on my TikTok as well, because I'm on there pretty much every day. And as side effects come up and as results happen, I want to share that, and I want people to be aware of how this is affecting me, if it's a choice that you want to make for yourself, if it's a journey that you're also going on. Of course, I want to be able to support each other through this process, so feel free to comment down below if you have any questions or thoughts, and I will see you in the next one.